After discovering my husband's affair with my sister, I fell apart. Selena never interfered in our relationship. From beginning to end, she's the one I've loved. You are the third party between me and Selena. Alex's eyes were rimmed with red, his tone was cold and hard, each word bitten off sharp and cruel, striking heavily into my heart. My face went as white as paper in an instant, my whole body trembling from pain, anger, and humiliation. I demanded, my voice sharp and desperate, I'm the other woman? You were the one who knelt on the ground and begged me to marry you, and now you say you've loved Selena from the start? Then she laughed harshly, and as she kept laughing tears began to pour down like a torrent. Seeing me desperate and shattered, Alex snapped awake in an instant, thrown into panic. He reached out instinctively as if to touch me, then jerked his hand back, his lips trembling as he couldn't form a whole sentence. Celia, that's not what I meant, listen to me. I walked toward the door with vacant eyes, like a soulless corpse stumbling wildly across the road. Suddenly a bright light stabbed at me. The moment I was struck down by the big truck, I thought, this still isn't as sharp as the ache in my heart. The scent of disinfectant lingered at the tip of my nose. I snapped my eyes open, watching the harsh sunlight stream through the gap in the curtains. Miss Celia, you're fine now, just a bit weak, make sure to take in more nutrition, a young nurse said softly as she pushed the door open and came in. I looked at her in disbelief, the pain of betrayal still hummed in my nerves, my mind foggy. This was the scene I woke up to after fainting by the pool at 20 and being taken to the hospital. 3 days ago I won the national dance competition's gold medal, and my parents insisted on holding a banquet at the Bin Hotel to celebrate. At the start of the month Selena failed her final exam, though she acted as if nothing had happened and her parents told her it was okay. I knew how delicate and sensitive she was, so I kept an eye on her throughout the party. Later she vanished, and when I went outside looking for her I was accidentally knocked into the pool by a child. The icy water knocked me senseless. Before I could fully come to in the dazed haze of being reborn, the hospital room door opened again. Alex came in carrying a bouquet, and behind him followed a worried-looking Selena. How do you feel? Alex walked to my bedside and laid his hand on my forehead. The fever's gone down, rest well and you'll recover. I instinctively recoiled from his touch, my face a tangle of emotions. I'm fine now, thanks. Selena stepped forward. Sister, it was all my fault yesterday. If it hadn't been for me, you wouldn't have ended up in the hospital. Her face was streaked with tears, her voice trembling, guilt written all over her eyes. Alex quickly patted her on the back and guided her to sit down. It's not your fault, it was an accident. His tone had a softness he had never shown me before. Selena leaned slightly against him, looking up at him. Her eyes held gratitude, grievance, and a faint, hard-to-detect dependency. I watched their interaction coolly. I couldn't help but scoff inwardly, such obvious intimacy. How had I not noticed any of it in my past life? Perhaps sensing my cold gaze, Alex looked slightly awkward and hurriedly said, Selena and I came to pick you up from the hospital. Back home, my mother supported me to the dining room. These were all dishes Selena asked the nanny Nancy to make, all your favorites. As she spoke, she slipped a rib onto my plate. Selena cried all night yesterday, she kept saying she'd rather have been the one to fall into the water. I listened to my mother's constant chatter and looked at the greasy rib, my appetite gone. Mom, I want to go back to my room first. My mother paused. Okay. She pulled out my chair for me. Keep the dishes warm. If you get hungry, eat later. Lying in bed, I replayed everything with Alex from my past life. Many details I had never noticed before surfaced one by one. Since he called me excess, this time I'll give them what they want, I won't be an obstacle for them anymore. The next day I packed my bags, preparing to move into the school dormitory. Celia, why do you have to move out? My mother asked, puzzled. The school isn't far, can't the driver just take you every day? I put the hairdryer into my suitcase. Exams are coming up soon. I want to focus on studying. Sis, please don't move away, okay? Selena tugged my sleeve, rocking it. If I can't see you, I'll miss you. She habitually put on a coquettish expression, blinking her eyes and speaking in a soft syrupy voice, as if that would make me satisfy all her requests like before. I gently pulled my sleeve back. I'll move back after the exams. That evening, Alex came to see me. Are you moving into the school? He handed me a box of strawberry pastries. Can't you not move? Selena would be so hurt. I didn't take the box. I've never been the one to crave strawberry flavor, I prefer blueberry. I used to think he couldn't tell the two apart, only now did I realize it's because he doesn't pay attention. Whenever Selena likes peach, he never gets it wrong. If you need a tutor, I can help. You don't have to move to the school. He set the box on the table and spoke earnestly. No, I answered nonchalantly. I just want to focus on studying. I don't want to be disturbed. All right then, if you need my help, I'm always on call. He gazed at me with deep feeling, his face full of concern, as if his whole being belonged to me. If I hadn't lived through that last life, I would surely have fallen for him again. I never loved you at all. It's you who mistook my feelings for love. Both our parents were under the same misapprehension that we were in love. His previous life's righteous-sounding evasion surfaced in my mind again, the sort of excuse that once pushed me into an abyss of despair and made me feel as if more than a decade of devotion had been nothing but a laughable case of unrequited sentiment. After moving out, my heart was calmer than it had ever been. I poured all my energy into studying and dance practice. In my past life I had been offered a chance to study abroad, but I gave it up because of Alex. Given a second chance, I would never repeat that mistake. It was 10 o'clock at night when I came out of the practice room. Celia, someone downstairs is asking for you. My roommate Lily saw me, blinked, curiosity written all over her face. Is it your boyfriend? So handsome. I looked out the window. A tall figure stood beneath the plane tree, holding a box and glancing toward the door again and again. No, I ignored her teasing and answered calmly. I didn't go downstairs. Instead, I took my phone from the cabinet and sent Alex a message. Do you need me for something? If I didn't want any more entanglement with him, I might as well avoid meeting him. The phone rang in my ear. I hesitated a moment, then pressed accept. Celia, I bought you something to eat. Alex's warm voice came through the line. Come down and get it. Thanks, I don't need it. I hung up the phone, feeling not the slightest ripple. Alex stood frozen, surprised by my coldness. Something about me seemed different than before. When we stepped out the school gate, Selena was waiting in the passenger seat of the car. Alex, did you see sister? She asked in a sticky sweet voice, her big eyes shining. No, Alex was still dwelling on the words I don't need it, his tone hard. She didn't come downstairs. It's my fault for twisting my ankle, otherwise I could have taken her back to the dorm, Selena said, guilt written all over her face. Sister hasn't been home in a long time, I wonder how her health is. As she spoke, a shimmer of tears glinted in her eyes. Alex snapped back to himself, a wave of aching compassion and reluctance washing over him. All right, don't cry. I know you're worried about your sister. Don't worry, she'll be fine. After saying that, he gently brushed the tears from Selena's face and tapped the tip of her nose. You're much thinner than she is, eat more. Back home, Alex pulled out his phone and stared at Celia's name, lost in thought. Before today's message, Celia hadn't texted him in a long time. The most recent one was still from the night of the banquet, asking if he could come by earlier because she wanted to wear the necklace he was going to give her. That necklace was a new design by Mr. Chloe, and Celia had been waiting for it for a long time. He had planned to surprise her after buying it, but unexpectedly Selena told Celia the moment his reservation went through. At that time her eyes lit up like crushed starlight. Thinking of how Celia had looked then, Alex's mouth involuntarily curved into a smile. He tapped a few times on the screen and sent Celia a message. Are you asleep? Want to have lunch together tomorrow? A long time passed and the screen still showed no movement. Disappointment flashed across Alex's face. Maybe she's already asleep and didn't see it, he told himself. I lay on the bed, staring at Alex's message, feeling a sharp pang of irony. Was this an attempt to ask me out, or simply following Selina's arrangements? Whenever the two of us were alone before, Selina would always coincidentally appear. "Selina is on her own, let's include her," he would always say. I never thought it improper. Alex and I had known each other since childhood and grew up together. He often accompanied me to the training hall, we discussed schoolwork together, took part in outdoor activities, and even shared little secrets with each other. Friends around us and both families had almost assumed we were a match made in heaven and would surely end up together. I too once believed that firmly. Looking back now, I was truly naive then. Selina was 5 years younger than me. At that time she trailed behind us like a little tail. Compared to my excellence, Selina was quite ordinary, introverted and timid, insecure and sensitive. Her parents never imposed requirements on her, they believed it was enough as long as she was happy. I cared for her carefully, driven by the instinctive responsibility of being her sister. I never imagined she would become entangled with Alex, one being my childhood sweetheart husband, the other my blood-related sister, together pushing me into the abyss. Looking back now, in my past life I was a fool, unable to see or understand. I still remember that Valentine's Day when Alex and I had planned to walk across Lover's Bridge. Selina's appearance turned the pair into 3 walking side by side. I gently reminded her, "Mom is waiting at home." She looked at me with tearful eyes. "Sister, am I bothering you and Alex?" she asked, then staggered back 2 paces and turned around. "I'll go home right now." Her trembling, tear-streaked figure seemed desolate, and Alex couldn't help but scold me. "Celia, she's your sister, how can you treat her like that?" My face burned with shame, I felt overwhelming guilt. "Alex, don't scold sister," she ran back and took my hand. "It's all my fault, I shouldn't have disturbed you." Alex immediately stepped forward to support her, then held her close in his arms. "It's not your fault, it was your sister who was wrong." At that time I didn't notice anything amiss at all, and I felt utterly mortified for what I had just said. The next morning I finally replied to Alex, "No, thank you, I need to study." Then I pushed him out of my mind and threw myself into heavy coursework. That evening my father called. "Celia, tomorrow Alex's grandfather George is coming back from abroad. We're having a family dinner at their old house tonight." In my previous life, whether before or after marriage, Grandpa George had always been very kind to me. Even though I didn't want to meet Alex again, with him returning I couldn't not go. I didn't wear the couture gown my parents had prepared, I had on nothing more than simple jeans and a white shirt. When I arrived at the old house, I could see Alex and Selina laughing together in the garden from afar. I handed the gift to Grandpa George. "Grandpa, I wish you good health." "My dear, come sit by Grandpa's side." He said that, then called Alex over. "Go get Celia a cup of tea, it's hot today." A servant nearby covered his mouth and teased, "Ever since Miss Celia arrived, our jobs have been taken by the young master. That's what that brat should be doing." Grandpa George laughed along. I took the tea and thanked him with a detached expression. Perhaps noticing my coldness, during the meal Grandpa George deliberately had my seat arranged next to Alex's. "Sis, can I sit next to you?" Selina stepped forward, pleading in her eyes. "I miss you so much. We haven't eaten together in a long time." Alex hastily made room, pulled Selina between us, then piled several of her favorite dishes onto her plate. "Alex, sis loves this dish, give her some," Selina said, pointing at a platter. I refused calmly, "She doesn't like it anymore." "Sis, I'm sorry, I didn't know." Her eyes reddened, tears gathering on her lashes. I looked up at her, my gaze clear and knowing. Maybe my look was too blunt, it pierced her nerves in an instant. In her panic she knocked over a wine glass, hands flailing helplessly. "Celia, you scared Selina," Alex said reproachfully. "Selina was only worried about you." I glanced at him coolly and continued eating with my head down. Grandpa George sensed the awkwardness among the 3 of us and, after the meal, had Alex walk me home. "Celia, I wasn't blaming you just now," he said, taking my hand and looking at me intently. Selena is a bit timid, you should be more considerate. I slipped my hand away without showing it. Okay. Here, this is for you, he said, producing a brocade box. The moment I saw it I thought it suited you. It's a bracelet made of warm jade, you get cold easily, so it's just right. He reached to put it on me. In my past life, he said he never loved me. Yet every word of concern, every time he held my hand, every gift he gave made me misunderstand, made me think we liked each other. When I got out of the car, I secretly took off the bracelet and put it in the compartment by his rearview mirror. If he didn't want to be involved, I shouldn't accept his gifts anymore. The next day, I found time to go home and gathered together all the presents Alex had given me. There were pinwheels I played with as a child, the sand paintings I liked, and later jewelry, more than I expected, enough to fill a large cardboard box. I sealed the box and shoved it into the deepest part of the wardrobe. There was no need to make a point of returning these things, but I would never open them again. My dancing talent earned praise from Teacher Wang in the administration office. He asked if I wanted to go abroad to study. Celia, Professor William admires you. There are better resources there to support you. You should treasure this opportunity. In my previous life, Teacher Wang told me the same thing, and I immediately shared the good news with Alex. Celia, it's good that you can go study abroad, he said hesitantly. But you're a girl, going thousands of miles from home, what if someone takes advantage of you? If anything really happens, I'd be heartbroken. He looked at me, his tone intentionally softened with tenderness. At the time, I thought he truly couldn't bear to let me go. Faced with Teacher Wang's persuasion, I clung to Alex's arm and vowed, having him is enough. Looking back now, it's laughably absurd. I will cherish it, I said firmly. Good, then discuss it with your family. If there are no problems, you'll leave in a week. Sis, you said before you'd move to live at the school, and now you're going abroad too, is it because of the last time you fell into the water? Selena cried. I'm sorry, sis, please don't go, okay? Celia, Selena didn't do it on purpose, don't be stubborn. Mother went over to Selena. You're a girl going so far away, it's not safe. Yes, sister. The universities in Jing City are all very good too, they're close to home, and we can stay with you. Selena looked at me. Again with the same words, just like in my previous life. I'm going abroad to complete my studies better, it's nothing to do with anyone else. Not wanting to waste words with them anymore, I turned and went back to my room. At night, I was woken by a commotion downstairs. Aunt Nancy, what's going on? I rubbed my sleepy eyes. Young miss, second miss has fainted, Nancy said, her eyes tired. The gentleman and the lady have taken her to the hospital. Moonlight slanted in through the window, cutting across my startled face and casting a line of light and shadow. Why would Selena faint again? Maybe she's just too heartbroken. The madam said she cried all night. She lifted a hand to press her temple, turning back toward the bedroom as she muttered to herself, I hope this time it's real. I lowered my eyelids to hide the derision in my gaze. The timing of these fainting spells was always so precise. At the hospital, tears clung to Selena's eyelashes. When she opened her eyes she hiccuped twice. Dad, Mom, did I make you worry again? It's all my fault, I shouldn't be so useless. As she spoke, the tears came pouring down again. Her mother tucked a soft pillow under the back of her neck, eyes rimmed red. Don't cry, don't cry. The doctor says you're just too upset. Rest for a couple of days and you'll be fine. You're just too sensible for your own good, bottle up your grievances, her father said, handing her a cup of warm water. If something's wrong, tell Dad. I'll take care of it for you. Seeing me come in, Selena looked a little awkward. Sister. Her voice was hoarse. I'm sorry, sister, it's all my fault. I made you run back and forth. If I hadn't fainted, you wouldn't have had to work so hard. I didn't answer, setting the thermos on the table. Aunt Nancy made it. You need to eat something light right now. Sister, could you please not go abroad? A tear suddenly rolled down her eyelashes. I'll be lonely when you leave. Get some rest, I'm going back to school. I turned and walked away, not interested in watching her performance. At the hospital entrance I ran into Alex getting out of his car. Celia, how is Selena? You shouldn't have made her sad. Go see her, she needs you right now. I left without looking back. Watching my departing figure, Alex felt a strange rush of emotions, then turned and headed upstairs. I told Teacher Wang my decision. Okay, I'll have them book the plane ticket. Teacher Wang patted my shoulder with relief. Remember, your career won't let you down. Teacher Wang's encouragement sent a sharp pang through my chest. Yes, only one's career won't betray them. Why didn't I understand that in my previous life? That night I was reviewing my lessons. The phone on my desk lit up, a message box popped up with Alex's name. Celia, do you have to go abroad? Yes. I answered curtly. After a long while the screen lit up again. Can we talk, please? No need. I turned off my phone. At noon, after classes my classmates and I returned to the dorm. Downstairs, I saw Alex standing under the plane tree. Celia, he came up beside me, can we talk? I told my classmates to go back first and followed him to the playground behind the building. Say it. Could you not go abroad? He tried to put his hand on my shoulder, but I subtly avoided it. Why? I stared into his eyes. I don't want you to leave, he said, eyes flitting away. Not you, I said, watching him. It's Selena, isn't it? When we were kids dividing candy, Selena would always clutch the biggest piece in her hand, then tilt up her little face and, looking as if she clearly wanted it but was trying hard to resist, tell me, sister, you eat it, I don't like sweet things. She would come to the dance studio to practice with me, taking the initiative to keep me company, straightening my dance shoes as she hid the shadows in her eyes and, with a hint of pride, boasted to others, my sister dances so well. On the day of the music exam, she would accidentally hide the sheet music deep in a drawer, causing me to panic on the spot. In the end she would stand before our parents with red-rimmed eyes, apologetic, saying to me, Sis, it's all my fault. If only I'd reminded you. Now she wraps dependence and reluctance around her jealousy, little by little binding the wings I want to use to fly. You, what are you talking about? Alex's Adam's apple bobbed violently as he took a half-step back. Selena is just worried about you, afraid you'll be mistreated out there. Worried about me? I took a step forward, my voice as calm as an icebound lake. Worried about me, hiding my notes during exams to throw me off? Worried about me, disappearing on purpose at the celebration to make me anxious? Worried about me, pretending to spill ink on my application materials? And now, worried about me, using fainting to stop me from studying abroad? I stared into his eyes, asking calmly. Alex's face went pale. Celia, those are small things. He grabbed my wrist, babbling, Selena, she's just too afraid of losing you. Selena loves you as a sister, you can't condemn her over something so trivial. I gently pulled my hand away. I have my own life. I'm not here to cater to Selena's needs, nor do I need her telling me what to do. Please don't bother me anymore. With that, I turned and walked away. Watching my resolute back, he suddenly growled from behind, You insist on leaving, do you? If you go, don't come back. This time I didn't look back, my steps were steady. In the distance a burst of colorful fireworks bloomed, as if bidding farewell to my rotten old dreams. The night before I left for the airport, I packed my luggage and sat at my desk, my fingertips tracing the diary filled with my confidences. It held all my love for Alex, sweet, bashful, and full of hopes for a future spent hand in hand with him. I tore them up one by one, severing ties with my past life completely. Suddenly, I saw the memory of that car accident from when I was first reborn. It was that accident that robbed me of the dancing career I loved. When Alex knelt with a diamond ring and proposed, I gladly became a housewife. That day I had twisted my ankle, and Alex drove me to school. On the way, he received a call from Selena. "Alex, I'm so scared, can you come keep me company?" Alex's heart tightened instantly. "Selena, don't cry yet. What's happened? Tell me slowly." The palms of my hands were sweating too as I watched him anxiously. On the phone came the choked voice, "I dreamed that sister fell into the sea." All right, stop crying. Your sister is fine." Alex soothed her patiently. "Alex, I'm scared. Can you pick me up and come find my sister, please? I'm worried about her." "Okay, I'll head over right now. Wait for me." Alex turned the car around and asked me over his shoulder, "We'll go back to pick up Selena and take you." Before he finished, in that moment of distraction, a truck came barreling toward us. My mind was still trapped in the fear of that moment when my phone suddenly lit up. It was a message from Alex. "Tomorrow morning at 7, I'll wait for you downstairs at the dorm and take you to the airport." I stared at the message for a long time, my fingertips cold. Because he was distracted, I lost a leg. Out of guilt and pity, he proposed to me. Before this, he had been wavering between me and Selena. He couldn't bear to give up the admiration people showed when I stood by his side, yet he enjoyed Selena's dependence and worship. I replied, "No need, I've already made plans." Putting down my phone, my heart was calm. In this life, I would not repeat the same mistake, not let anyone lock away my ability to fly. The next morning I stepped out of the dorm with my suitcase. A familiar black car was parked beneath the plane trees, Alex leaning by the door. Seeing me, he gave his usual gentle smile. "Come on, I'll see you off." I didn't answer. I bypassed him and headed straight for the taxi at the school gate. The driver helped load my suitcase into the trunk. After I got in, he glanced back and asked, "Your friend?" "No." In the rearview mirror, Alex's smile froze on his face. Selena leaned out from the passenger seat, wisps of hair at her forehead stirred by the wind, and those eyes that always seemed misted with moisture were full of anxiety and resentment. As the car pulled away from the school gate, I saw that black sedan suddenly rush out. Its engine roared, growing larger and larger in the rearview. The driver yanked the wheel to avoid it, his voice thick with anger. "Is that driver crazy?" I gripped the handle above the car door so tightly my knuckles ached, my heart pounding. The car reached the intersection and the light had just turned red when suddenly a heavy truck barreled in from behind and to the side. As it skimmed past the black sedan, the blast of air from its body nearly ripped the guardrail off the roadside. Alex swung the steering wheel wildly. The car, like a leaf caught in a gale, slammed hard into the barrier, the brittle crash so loud it made my eardrums throb. The taxi driver was so terrified he stomped on the emergency brake. The needles on the dashboard shook violently. I looked back. Selena was struggling out of the warped door, stretching out an arm and pointing in my direction, her mouth opening and closing. Alex lay over the steering wheel, his usually gentle features twisted into something fierce under the sunlight. I drew a deep breath, closed my eyes, and said to the driver, "Please hurry, I'm in a rush." Watching the chaos in the rearview shrink into a blurred shadow, my heart gradually calmed. At the airport, I received a message from Teacher Wang. "Professor William is already waiting over there for you, good luck." My finger slid over the screen on the word "good luck," and the knot in my chest finally loosened. I glanced back at the familiar city once more and resolutely boarded the plane. Life abroad was busy and full. I sweated in the dance studio and absorbed knowledge in class. Occasionally, returning late from practice, my phone would hold messages from my parents. They said Selena was sick again, clutching her pillow and crying through the night. They said Alex kept talking about me, staring at my photos from time to time. I felt nothing stirred inside, only a faint reply of "got it," and then I continued with my life. 6 months later, my mother called me, her voice faltering. "Celia, Selena and Alex are engaged." My voice was flat. "At the engagement party today Selena cried terribly. She said she's sorry to you, and, you're her sister, could you talk to her?" My mother sounded a little embarrassed, you could tell she knew she was asking too much. Mom, I said, tying the ribbon on my dance shoes in the mirror, this is her own choice. Celia, but after all she's your sister, blood's thicker than water. Mother's breathing grew heavy. She chose that path, she has to walk it herself. I wouldn't let her continue. I knew my sister would never forgive me. She just can't stand to see me happy. On the other end, Selena's sharp wail suddenly came through. Mother hurriedly hung up the phone, as if afraid I'd hear, or as if she was rushing to soothe Selena. I smiled and shook my head. Those people and matters had long ceased to concern me. At an international dance exchange, I met Julian. He was an architectural designer, gentle and cultivated, attending the event in search of inspiration. As the crowd thinned, he walked slowly to the backstage entrance and reached out his hand. "Miss Celia, you are exceptional," he said. There wasn't a trace of leering in his eyes, only respect and admiration for who I am. Later, we became friends. He would use his knowledge of architecture to interpret my dances, remember that I liked warm lemon honey water after rehearsals, and when I received my doctorate he held sunflowers and said, "You on stage shine brighter than the sun." Our love had no dramatic highs and lows, only a steady, enduring flow. A year later, with friends as witnesses, we stepped into the hall of marriage. The following year, I gave birth to a pair of dragon and phoenix twins, filling our home with lively energy. Julian doted on the three of us, me and our 2 children, treating us like a little princess and prince. Life was like tea slowly steeped in warm water, rich and long-lasting. Those past wounds torn by betrayal were, in the end, ironed smooth and warmed by happiness. 10 years on, because of an important dance tour, I returned to my homeland with my family. In the airport terminal, my parents had arrived early to wait, under the domed light, their figures seemed a little stooped. When they saw me come out, their eyes instantly filled with tears. Clumsily they touched the top of their grandson's head, choking on words they couldn't say. In the moment they turned, someone suddenly bumped into me, making me stagger back. Only when I looked up did I see it was Alex. He looked much older than 10 years ago, his temples were streaked with white and his frame had grown thin. "Celia, you're finally back." His voice was hoarse, and his eyes were full of an inescapable remorse. Julian instinctively shielded me, his manner polite but distant. "Sir, may I ask who you are?" "I am her." Alex's Adam's apple bobbed violently, his voice choking. "I am her friend." I looked at him calmly. "Long time no see. We still have to rush to the theater, excuse us." The tour was a great success. When the spotlight found me again, thunderous applause rolled out from the audience. Scanning the front rows, I saw Selena in the audience. She wore a gown that looked borrowed, and the jealousy in her eyes was unmistakable. At the end, she intercepted me backstage, her face streaked with tears. "Sister, why did you come back?" Her makeup was a smeared mask as she leaned toward me, voice hysterical. It was you who ruined my whole life. He only ever had you in his heart. He never loved me." Her eyes suddenly went mad. "Why do you get both a son and a daughter? If I can't have happiness, neither will you." Julian shoved her away and held the children protectively in his arms. I looked at her, sinking in her pain, and suddenly felt very pitiful. Our parents hurried over and enfolded her in their embrace. Mother took my hand, her voice choked. "Celia, for the sake of her being your own sister, spare her this once. She just loved Alex too much." I gently withdrew my hand. "Mom, you never asked what I actually wanted." In the end I didn't call the police, but my heart was frozen. After the tour ended, I left that city with my family. As the plane taxied, Julian took my hand. "Thinking about the past?" I watched the city's outline shrink outside the window and smiled. Good thing I didn't turn back 10 years ago. I heard from them again a year later. Alex and Selena had divorced. The day they collected the divorce certificate they argued at the door of the civil affairs office and nearly came to blows. Selena moved back to her parents' home, spending her days soaked in tears. Alex quit his job and went around asking after me, but he could never find me again. But none of that concerned me anymore. My life was blissful, an attentive husband, an adorable child, and the lights on the stage. Those betrayals I once thought would haunt me forever had, in time, faded into vague shadows. In this life, I finally found the sunlight that truly belongs to me.